This shit is finally getting out of hand. First we had KSI and Logan Paul back in the day. That shit was cool. I don't know who the fuck started all this. I guess we had KSI, Joe Weller. That was cool as well, even though I never watched that, or I didn't watch it live rather. We had Deji versus Jake Paul back in the day. That was cool and whatever as a one-off. And then shit started getting serious. The headgear started coming off. The pro boxing cards started getting handed out. And it became a shit show. There's literally only one person in this whole YouTube boxing industry that is even remotely interesting, or I'm trying to think of the word in my head. It's literally on the tip of my tongue, but I'll just say interesting, or enticing I should say, and that is Jake Paul. And the only reason, well, KSI I guess as well, but he rarely ever fights and he doesn't seem nearly as serious or passionate about it as Jake. And the only reason why it's interesting at all is because he wins. Now there's a rumored match between Anderson Silva and Logan Paul that should take place in October, if I am, talking out of my ass correctly. And that is, I don't understand. I don't even know how this is being sanctioned. Now competitively it may not be too far off, just because Logan is so much bigger than Anderson Silva, and that is the only way these people will fight anybody, as if they're 10 times the size. They gotta have a 20-pound weight advantage in order to fight anybody. It's pretty fucking ridiculous, and that's the only reason why he would take a fight in the first place. But it's I'm gonna show Logan's boxing record right here, right here, and then I'm gonna show Anderson Silva's professional boxing record right here, right there. You see the difference? One guy has won. How many times? He's 2-1, which is whatever. It's not something amazing, but he's got some wins on the record. Logan Paul has never won a fight in his fucking life. He went to a draw, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, with KSI as an amateur boxing match. Then the second fight, he lost on the scorecards. I know that there were some fouls on both ends, if I remember correctly. And then he got the brakes beat off of him by Floyd Mayweather. I know that was an exhibition bout, but it's the dude has never tasted victory. The only people he tastes victories over are the tomato cans that come in to spar with him. That is it. That is literally it. So I do not understand, and that's why no one gives a fuck about his fights. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. I read somewhere that maybe him versus Floyd broke 1 million pay-per-view buys, but it's how is Floyd Mayweather now barely breaking 1 million pay-per-view buys? And if it was Floyd Mayweather versus Jake Paul, it would have broke 1.5 million, 2 million. And it's because Jake can actually win, or he actually does win. Now I'm not saying obviously as an entertainer and as a person, first of all, I don't watch either guy. But I do like Logan a little bit more, if that's saying anything. Even though I don't watch either guy, I don't listen to either guy. Jake is compelling and he's fun to watch because he wins. And he's pretty good at promoting. And then sometimes I'll see some impulsive clips and whatnot, and I'll watch them on the internet. And I only do that because, I don't know, maybe the title was enticing or something. And Logan seems like an alright dude from there. I know he's got a controversial past and whatever the fuck. Don't really care about that. Sure, they're both super immature. He makes some dumbass decisions, and I'm not saying either one of them are a good person or interesting person or somebody that I like or find interesting, rather. I'm just saying that I think Logan is more interesting and is more likable than Jake, and I think most people would agree with that. He's just slightly more mature, which is a fucking crazy thing to say because most people think he's extremely immature, which he most likely is. Who knows? Again, I don't even know much about the guys. I never subscribe to them. I don't watch their personal videos. I never have. I think I watched one Logan Paul music video. But it's just ridiculous how these fights keep getting booked. I know that this fight hasn't been booked quite yet, but it's dude, be real. And the betting lines is already opening. They have Logan Paul as a favorite. On what planet does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying he can't win, but it's he's never won in his entire life. and he's supposed to beat somebody, a former UFC champion, a literal GOAT, and someone who just took on a real professional boxer who, was slacking, and sometimes he doesn't take shit seriously, I understand that. But a real boxer he beat, outboxed, wasn't a one-punch KO he got lucky with. He legitimately outboxed him. And we're going to now take Logan Paul as the betting favorite, even though he's never tasted. He only knows defeat. What the fuck, man? I don't understand.